Right, so I'll show you 3 traps what you could put in your bug out bag. The 3 traps I got are, they're going to be like ready-made traps, not things you've got to make while you're out in the field, because there's plenty of traps you could make, but 3 ready-made traps. So I'll pull them out and then we'll go through them. So one relatively small modified rat trap. Snares. And this one is a Mark IV Fen trap. I'll bring the camera a bit closer and then we'll have a look at them. Right, so that's the 3 traps. The reason I was showing you 3 ready-made traps is so that you don't really have to do anything, you just got to set them up rather than building an entire trap. These ones ready-made, just put them out. So I'll probably go from the smallest to the largest. So your smallest really is going to be snares. They're probably going to take quite a bit more skill, and you could use them on their own, or you could use them with another part of a trap what you build, like a spring mechanism. But depending on what kind of snares and what kind of wire you're using, you may be limited to what you can catch. But you can always break down snares smaller, or break the wires up and make them thicker. And also the good thing with snares is you could potentially catch a lot of different animals, and I suppose that is a source of cordage if it comes to it. But you could catch quite a lot of animals around the neck or around their legs or anything like that, so snares will always be a good one. But I think that's going to take a fair bit more skill. Then we've got a modified rat trap. Now some of these you can modify these pretty good, so they'll probably kill a squirrel. But if it hasn't been modified enough to kill a squirrel, then you're only going to catch small animals or potentially birds, which you have got a chance of killing a bird with one of these, or at least catching them around the neck. But it's got to be modified with your holes in the corners for tying it off to something, a bar there for the animal's neck, and this bar here pulling up the spring tighter. And it's got a couple of other modifications. These are just to hold the spring down, because it almost seems as though it's going to come out. So that would be pretty easy to set up. You will need bait though for that. I suppose you're kind of limited to what you can catch with that, but at least you haven't got to do nothing. You just set it up and then that's it, done. And then lastly, we've got the largest one, which take up a fair bit of room in the bug out bag, whereas the other 2, these ones won't really. That won't take up much room. It's not very heavy, and the snares definitely won't. You could probably make them way smaller than that. But the Fen trap is the biggest of the lot, but this one's going to be pretty decent. Now you can get a slightly larger one than this, which will take slightly larger animals. Now I'll show you how a Fen trap works in a second, but I'll quickly go through this a bit and I'll show you. So it's a killing trap. Pull it down like this. It's got your treadle plate and everything, and with this one you can catch rats, squirrels and those kind of size animals, probably stoats and weasels and stuff like that. Maybe not mice. I don't think a mouse would trigger this off, but I reckon you could also use this as a leg hold trap if it was set up right. So you got the potential to catch larger animals, or at least hold them by the leg for a while with this kind of trap. But squirrel or whatever comes in normally stands on the treadle plate, and this just crushes them and kills them. I'll show you now one going off. So that's the fen trap set up. Like I said, legally you normally put these in a tunnel and stuff like that. Squirrel comes in, stands on it, or the rat. Like I said, if you've got the larger version, it will catch rabbits, a mink and stuff like that. Animal comes in, stands on it, and it just gets, you know, squashed and crushed to death. It has got a small safety catch there. I'll just put that back. But I reckon if you put this in the right places, you could potentially catch larger animals with this as a leg hold, and then you tie this off somewhere. So it'll be worth having one of these in your bug out bag. Right, I'll set it off now. Now it's got some force in it, you'd be surprised. Pretty strong traps they are. It's holding that good. So that's your fen trap, your modified rat trap, and your snares. There's probably other things you could make. You probably could, which I've done before, is make ready-made figure four triggers. But the only thing with that is once you've made your figure four trigger, you still need something else to go with it. A dead full weight or a cage. And that's just more things you've got to make. But at least with traps like these, you just get them, carry them in your bag, and then you set them up where you need to, when you need to. And then, once these are set up, then you can go on to making whatever else, making other traps or whatever. Later on, I'll put some more, I'll do another version. There's another 3 traps, but they may be ones what you have to put a bit more time and effort into making first, in the first place. Whereas this, you just buy one of these. You could just use a normal rat trap without modifying it, but you're then limited to catching rats, whatever, or mice. But then once you've caught a mouse or something, if you're not going to eat it, you can use that as bait for something bigger. And also things like the triangle bird trap, but that's a different one, because you're going to have to make that in the first place. Whereas anyone could probably get rat traps, fen traps, or similar, depending on what country you're in, and snares. Right, so that's 3 traps for a bug out bag. Right, cheers for watching. I'll see you later.